we got a couple of you guys had pointed out
There's some name issues we're working on.
Some name. I don't know how to pronounce everybody's name. Welcome back to the second episode of the DFW Disc Golf Digest. I'm Sebastian with Chase as co-host as always. Today we're going to be talking about the Cedar Hill Open Tour finale that just happened, the kind of wrap and closure of the Dirty Dozen Tour as a whole for 2024. I guess first off, I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the ones that tuned into the first episode. We had quite a lot of people that at the tournament talked to us and told us that they had watched it and like asked us like questions about it and stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, definitely appreciate everyone that came up to us that said they watched the first episode, that like what we're doing. So, that's just reinforcement that what we're doing is it's working. So
something that people are appreciating for sure. I heard that some people were like sending it in group chats and stuff. So I guess we're gonna jump right into the Cedar Hill Open finale. Honestly, super well ran. Yeah,
really well ran. But that's to be expected with most of like the dynamic tournaments. Steve's been doing this for I think I heard him say 12 years. So just teeting
I didn't hear
for
that.
And maybe more. I might be lying to you guys, but probably 12 years. And I mean, great tournaments, really well run. Everything was really smooth and no rain, so it was like perfect weather the entire weekend.
Yes, we actually missed out on all of the rain until a little after. I think it sprinkled a little bit, and then it kind of started raining, honestly, just recently. So overall, a great weekend. One of those days where like you have to wear a jacket in the morning. As soon as the round starts, it's like jacket's got to come off. It gets warm. So we're going to jump right into the Cedar Hill Open results, starting off with MPO. So honestly, first round, Zane Letts and Mason Marchbanks were tied for the lead after the first round. I believe both 10 down, which is a familiar spot for Mason, being that he was tied first round at VPO. So not unfamiliar to him. Second round, the whole lead card shot pretty hot. Honestly, they played Coyote. And I guess that's worth mentioning is that MPO and MA1 played Beaver, Coyote, Beaver. The other divisions, most of the other divisions played Coyote, Beaver, Coyote.
Yeah, and there wasn't much like change up in round two. Like round one finished with Zane and Mason tied at the top, and Cameron Shirley in third. And guess what? That's where they finished round two at also. So
yeah, I really thought that like there was going to be some shakeups. I was seeing like the rounds, but Zane shot a 13 down at Coyote, which is not an easy course. I had some rough scrambles. That's a course like if you get off the fairway, you're gonna have to work really hard to save a par and sometimes even a bogey.
Yeah, most of them you're probably bogeying.
Yeah, like once you get off the fairway, it's
if you're off the fairway early, you're probably
for
bogeying.
Sure. So 13 down is very impressive. Good job, Zane. I think Mason shot another 10 down. Third round, I was kind of tracking the scores throughout their round. Honestly, Mason had a pretty hot start. He was 3 down through the first 4 holes. And Zane, I think maybe it was 1 down. Zane had a 3-stroke lead going into the round, and it was quickly gotten rid of. I think Mason even tied him for the lead for a little bit. But Zane just kind of kept playing well. Seemed like he was pulling just a stroke ahead. Every time like Mason would do something to gain a stroke, Zane would kind of take it back. Honestly, Cameron, he was only at one point like 2 strokes back of them. But like maybe I thought, how like maybe the two of them could have been like battling it out a little bit between each other, and like Cameron could have been like that sleeper, kind of like playing consistently well, like silently, and maybe could have made a jump. They ended up finishing pretty much the exact same as they started.
The standings are the exact same as the way round one ended.
Yeah, so we had obviously So Zane Letts taking it down with a 30 down between the 3 rounds. Super great score. Mason Marchbanks negative 28 down, which honestly great rounds. Cameron Shirley third, and Daniel Vasquez, who ended up catching an ace in the first round that he didn't buy into the ace pot.
Yeah.
So
reasons, it's funny. He won a raffle to get into the event. He picked this as like the event that he was going to play for free within the Dirty Dozen Tour. It's something they offer at almost every tournament. You can pay an extra $5, or is it $5? It might even be cheaper. for raffle tickets into future Dirty Dozen Tour events, so you can get free events.
Do you know when they talk about the raffles? I actually didn't know that was a thing until
they
mentioned that.
So when you sign up on Disc Golf Scene, there is always an option to enter the raffle.
Interesting. I might have just always looked over that.
Yeah, but it does not include Ace Pot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't include Ace Pot. So he hit the Ace first round at Beaver and didn't claim the Ace Pot.
Yeah.
But shout out to Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey aced.
Yeah.
Hole 5, grade 8. That's actually that would be an insane ace to
hole
get.
5 at Beaver.
But yeah, and then also wanted to shout out like GT Hancock, Mickey Welsh. Their third round, they shot 12 down each. It rated 1049. Those were the hot rounds on Beaver for the entire tournament, and they did it in the last round.
Nice, yeah. Man, and that's GT, shooting from chase card, really hot. Couldn't take a second place this time like he did at VPO, but I mean, honestly, with the scores Zane and Mason and Cameron were putting up, it was kind of hard. Daniel Vasquez, I thought he was shooting pretty hot. He was like 8 or 9 down through like 11 holes, and I thought he was tied with Cameron for third for a little bit, but I think Cameron caught a couple like late birdies, and Daniel's round kind of slowed down just a bit to kind of keep them third and fourth respectively. So moving on, FPO. Obviously we talked about Madeline and Mia last week with the tour standings. First round, Madeline had a pretty good lead. She shot actually a really good round at Beaver. I believe 3 down was what her round finished at.
1 bogey, hole 10. 2 bogeys. I lied.
Two bogeys. So honestly, had a pretty good lead going into round 2. Coyote, little bit of a shakeup, and Mia Lofton shot 1 over, which is very good for that course, honestly.
And this happened at the flex start on Friday as well. I think Mia Lofton won, and she shot significantly better at Coyote versus like what Madeline shot at Coyote. So a little kind of toss up there.
Yeah, so maybe Mia's a little bit better playing in like the more tight woods of Coyote.
Maybe.
So she had a really good round at the flex on Friday, and also had a good round 2 to put her in the lead by 2 strokes. Unfortunately, starting off round 3, I think she may have taken an OB and a little bit of issues on the putting green of the first hole. Maybe just didn't warm up. We teed off quite early, and it was a little cold that morning. So took 7 on the first hole. So quickly turning that 2-stroke lead into a 2-stroke deficit very fast. And then honestly, the round kind of just played out from there. Madeline didn't really lose any strokes to her from that point on. Probably played a little safe.
Yeah.
Took the birdies when she could, and ended up finishing with a pretty good, respectable round as well. I think another 1 down at Beaver.
Yeah, 935 rated.
Shout out to Lourdes Herrera, who snuck into 3rd place overall and taking that last cash spot.
Oh yeah.
So congrats to those FPO players. Going into MA1, Zachary Rawa. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. we got a couple of you guys had put out some.
There's some name issues we're working on.
Some name. I don't know how to pronounce everybody's name. Yeah. So Zachary shot 8 down, honestly, and had a 2-stroke lead over Ron and a 4-stroke lead over the 3 guys tied for 3rd: Enrique Vasquez, Darian Payton, and Jackson McDonald. Not a bad round, honestly. 8 down in Beaver is quite respectable out of MA1. Yeah, so Jackson shot 6 down, second round at Coyote, which is a great round. Ended up tying Zachary, both going 10 down over the course of the 2 rounds, with Ron 2 strokes back of them, and then Enrique 2 strokes back of that. The 3rd round, though, I was kind of watching the scores, and it seemed like, honestly, like the scores were really just staying the same. Jackson kind of started pulling ahead a little bit, and then maybe they were trying to play a little too aggressive. I saw maybe like a double or triple out of Zachary last round, and I think that kind of took him out of it. And then Ron just couldn't really catch a ton of birdies. He didn't really bogey any at all either, but he couldn't catch a ton of birdies. And Jackson ended up finishing with a 5-stroke lead. I do have a video that I took of one of the more intense putts that Jackson put. We'll put that up here. And for the listeners that are listening on Apple or Spotify that don't have video, just imagine a guy making a putt and then flexing quite well afterwards. But yeah, so shout out to Jackson. Good rounds. Ended up taking the MA1 down. Honestly, it felt like the whole tournament was who could shoot well at Coyote. Because even in MA1 and MPO, there was a few players that shot really hot at Beaver, and Coyote, like, their rounds were just not quite up to. They kind of, that one round took them out of the tournament.
Coyote has a lot of scoring variation.
And the thing is a lot of the holes don't feel super difficult.
No.
And they're very scoreable.
No, they're scoreable, but you can definitely get in trouble. And we talked about it driving home the second day after 2 rounds, and I pretty much told Sebastian, I said, if I had to pick a course to be down 5 strokes, I'd want to finish on Coyote, not Beaver. You just can take bigger numbers.
2-stroke, 3-stroke swings easily. You birdie, they double bogey, which, I saw more double and triple bogeys this tournament than I have in any tournament this year. But the rough was very rough.
And yeah, I mean, if you go down round 1, you'll notice like a couple people down here in the bottom that actually moved up quite a bit. Like I specifically want to point out like Jack Kleppe. He shot. I was on his card round 1, even though I was playing MA3. He shot 7 over. Just had some unfortunate things happening, chain outs. It just wasn't his day. Round 2, he shot 2 down, so he clawed back from significantly below the cash line to 8th.
That's really good. Yeah. Going over to MA2 is interesting because honestly, like the rounds, like everyone was shooting, like the top couple were shooting pretty consistently. There wasn't a lot of like deviation in like a lot of the scores throughout the rounds.
So round 2, Shannon Russell shot 4 down. That put him 4 down total. Jose Rodriguez shot 3 down, put him 4 down total. Jordan Grimes shot 3 down, put him at 3 down total. And Alex Duenas shot even. It put him at 1 down, and that kind of rounded out lead card going into round 3. The hot round for round 2 was 5 down. Marshall Gowers, he moved up 13 spots in the second round.
Yeah, I was actually on Marshall's card. We played Beaver together, and he played really well. I had never heard of Marshall before. I don't think I ever played with him or anything, but I was surprised that he was on my card after I shot quite bad at Coyote, and then saw how good he shot the next round. I was like, yo, like, okay. But that's just the Cedar Hill, Open being a little bit of Beaver, a little bit of Coyote. Like, some Coyote is unforgiving. And I was following the MA2 lead card final round, and like Jose got a quick lead. I think he like birdied like 2 or 3, and they started on one of the hardest stretch of Coyote, like the whole 9, 11, 12, like that stretch right there is kind of where they started. And he kind of got a couple of the early ones to get a really quick lead. And I asked a couple of the guys that was on his card, and they just said that there was no catching him. Like, he wasn't making a lot of mistakes. He was playing very well, safe, but also like scoring when he could, but also really minimizing. I think he maybe took 2 bogeys in the final round to ultimately secure the win, I think by 3 strokes over Alex, who Alex was maybe in like 3rd or 4th.
He was
towards
in 4th.
The end.
He snuck on to lead card.
Yeah, well, he was almost literally like, I think their last 3 holes, he caught 2 birdies to snatch second place versus being like sole 4th, I think. Shout out to those guys in MA2. Honestly, like I said, Jose, they said he was shooting really good. And MA2 and MA3 played Coyote twice. So it's like not as much distance needed on those courses, but you really have to avoid the rough. Like, you don't even have to score like that many birdies if you just take your pars, lay up when you can't make just don't make any dumb mistakes. I got down early and tried to get aggressive in MA2, and I just couldn't really make anything out of my rounds. I got a little too aggressive after going down some strokes, and once you're down and you're trying to, you're running every 50-footer, you're playing a little risky, maybe not making the smart decisions, trying to save a par when really you should take your medicine and take a bogey, and then you end up with a double. So that was kind of the lessons and
absolutely
the summary of my rounds. Was a lot of scrambling, a lot of forehands. Going on to MA3, so Chase actually played and did quite well in MA3. So I'm gonna let him kind of talk about the first round and go from there.
Yeah. So first round, of course, we started in Coyote, a little bit shorter course. So at one point, I actually was 2 down, putting to be 3 down on hole 7. I was 3 strokes ahead of Anthony at the time, and our corresponding holes, his 10 and 11, were where I got to 8 and 9. And this is how quickly it can turn. I went double bogey, and he went birdie, and my 3-stroke lead went to almost a 3-stroke deficit.
Yeah, very fast, very fast. Yeah, I mean, hole 8 is not easy at Coyote. Hole 9 is also not easy. Hole 9 is a very difficult. There's not a great line. Like, I think a 2 is not really, like, there's not just one shot that you can go out there and be like, all right, I'm getting a 2 here. Like, it requires a little luck. Great line.
No, yeah, that was a disappointing stretch for me. I went double, and then hole 12 double bogey as well, and then just kind of rounded it out. Shot 4 over. Round 2, again, this was Anthony Pipkin's event. Even at Beaver, he just didn't make a lot of mistakes. Raphael also shot really well there, +2. Michael Short shot even, which moved him up 4 spots into the lead card. I shot 3 over, moving me up into lead card.
Back into lead card.
Into lead card.
You would chase card second round, ended up catching lead card going into the third round. So go ahead and tell us about the third round. So what hole did you guys start on at Coyote?
We started on hole 3. I'd say overall, yeah, it was just Anthony's event. I mean, he shot, let's see, for the event, 931. That's 37 points over his rating. Congratulations, you can't play MA3 anymore, probably.
He might rate out of MA3 going into the next couple events.
Almost certainly, because let's look. Round 1, 932. Round 2, 936. Round 3, 924.
Oh yeah, I mean he could definitely rate out for sure with those. He's only a few points away, so
he's certainly going to rate out. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Going into some of the age protected, so MP40, shout out Joey Ferran, sure. Alan Morrison in second, Eric Buford in third, 15 down, 10 down. So looks like there was a playoff actually in MP40 because they both shot 15 down.
Ooh, a little playoff action. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, both shot 15 down over the course of the event.
MP60, this is going to be one. Joe.
I think it's Joe Sofanowski.
Yeah.
Like Mike Wazowski.
Shout out Joe. Steve Gibson in second. Marcus Erickson in third. Going into MA40, Chad Hiltbrunner shot 1 down. He actually closed out 4 down, which was enough for him to win by 2 strokes. So if I go back and look at like round 2, he went into round 3 down 3 strokes, and he ended up he shot 4 down, which was across. Even if I go back to round 1 at Beaver in his division, that is the hot round for the whole tournament.
I think it was the only under par score in his division.
It was the only under par score in his division in round 1 and round 3.
Shout out Chad.
Yeah, almost blemish free in that round as well. Just the bogey on 12.
Very nice round from Chad. Yeah. Shout out him.
MA50, Gary Collier. He shot 8 over. Looks like we might have had a playoff here also. Yeah, Gary Collier and Matt both shot 8 over total. Looks like Matt chased him down a little bit in that third round, and they went to a playoff. Congratulations, Gary, on the win. FA50, 2 competitors. Shout out Sylvia Gibson for the win, and Denise Gentry.
Denise, yeah. So we got a little bit of. So during our rounds, shout out Denise for being a good sport. She said a lot of people were calling her Dennis after I misspoke on her name while reading out the scores last podcast. So shout out to her for listening and definitely let us know that we got that wrong.
Interesting fact about Denise Gentry, just because I was curious earlier. 259 career wins. She's been playing since at least her first event. Looks like it was in 2012. That's awesome. That's
quite
just
a lot of wins.
And
that's just. I think, what'd you say she was? You mentioned it to me earlier. Like rank the Masters.
Global Master Series rank for 2024. She's number 2.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Shout out Denise. And then
Okay.
MA60, right?
MA60. Jeff Watson shot 7 over for the tournament. That was enough to win it for him, shooting over Kurt Cunningham.
Oh, and then
we didn't touch FA2 and FA3.
Yeah.
Lisa Moreno ended up, she won pretty convincingly in FA2. Shout out Lisa. FA3, Bailey Long ended up beating Natalie Meyer by a stroke.
Oh, yeah. They were pretty close, honestly. I think they ended up, like, it was very close.
2 strokes.
I think
she beat her by 2 strokes.
Yeah, that was, I'd heard one of the guys on my card kept checking their round. I think he was maybe like a significant other to one of them, and was checking their rounds and was like kind of telling us that they were kind of battling it out. So it came down to
it definitely was a battle.
It came down to the last round,
because the first round they tied. The second round, she shot Bailey Long shot 1 stroke better in the second round, which put her up a stroke going into the third round. She shot 1 stroke better again, giving her a 2-stroke win. Nice.
So shout out to the winners, and honestly, shout out to Dynamic for hosting a good event. There was water everywhere on the course. Everything was well maintained. The Mandos, the new Mandos that were on hole 1 of Coyote and Beaver of 16. Personally, I didn't love them, but I understand why they had to be there. What do you think about those?
I believe that I parred hole 1 both days. That's a hole that I normally birdie. Every time I play it, I birdie it. The new Mando certainly makes it.
It definitely cuts off the desired angle of where, or like where you want to have as a landing zone. It's still birdieable.
Yeah, if you get right of where the Mando currently is, you have a pretty open hyzer angle into the basket. Mm-hmm. You still have that hyzer angle if you get to the Mando, but it's a lot tighter, and it brings a lot of those smaller trees into play.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because you get to that left side first round. I was on that left side, and I had to throw a very tight, risky shot. It ended up paying off, and I had a birdie look, but it was not what I should have done. I'll be honest. But overall, I mean, the tournament was very well ran. It, smooth. There was a lot of players. I will say not a lot of players stuck around for the the trophy ceremony afterwards. There were even the winners. Like, a lot of the winners didn't stick around. I would have liked for them to stick around, get the trophy, shake Steve's hand, last tournament of the year,
For sure. I agree. He's out there the whole weekend preparing, setting up the course. But I get it. Like, people have things they have to do.
Oh, for sure.
Like, people have their lives that they're going to do what they have to do. But definitely shout out Steve, shout out Dynamic Discs.
Also shout out to the Bogey Free Club. They provided the trophies for the event. I didn't catch the guy's name that created the company, but he said that, he sold his prior company and really just felt like that was his calling. And he was saying he, gives really paying, good paying jobs to retired veterans that he meets and kind of gives them a job. Chase kind of has a couple trophies that he has won. One of them from the Dirty Dozen Tour.
So the first one, that one's from Bicentennial. So that was actually just for winning just a random event within the Dirty Dozen Tour. The second one is I actually received today. This is the Dirty Dozen Tour finale trophies. So they had trophies for first, second, and third for all divisions.
Yeah, for the Dirty Dozen Tour points, which we'll go over in a second, kind of who won that. And kind of like we were talking about earlier, you and Anthony kind of having a really close, that was you hitting lead card that last round and then staying within lead card was pretty important for you to end up getting that trophy, that third place.
Absolutely. In terms of the overall tour itself. But definitely just to speak to the trophy, these are super high quality trophies. Definitely if you're running an event and you're looking for trophies, this is the guy to get with. They're amazing. Bogey Free Club.
Little cute bee on the bottom of them.
Yeah, there's a bee on all of them.
Yeah, little Bogey Free Club. So yeah, I mean it's they're really, really nice, made of like wood. They're I don't know, woodworks. I don't know. Very, very, very good. They're sick. I remember when Chase won this one from Bicentennial, and I thought that it was a very nice trophy because it sits on a desk well.
Yeah, it sits in my office. But I wanted to bring them out and just let everybody see what these look like. Definitely, and a lot of the listeners here probably have won one of these as well. But if you're someone who's running tournaments, you're running events, and you're looking for a guy that can get you high quality trophies, this is where you want to go for sure.
I would say so, for sure. Do we want to talk about the tour standings?
Yeah, let's talk about the tour standings. And that was a big part of what took so long with trophies, payout, things of that nature at the end, is with this being the finale, Steve was not only tasked with getting payout situated for this specific event, it's also the last opportunity he has, with it being the finale stop, to now get trophies and payout to the participants of the actual Dirty Dozen Tour. So a lot went into getting the trophies there, getting them passed out, but also, people are trying to spend their payout from the tournament while he's trying to get everything set.
Oh, yeah, it was a little hectic. People were like, let me get this, like, hey, and he's trying to tally up the points for everything. So I mean, shout out him. We're going to run through the Dirty Dozen Tour final standings and kind of who won, who cashed. There's quite a lot of players that played in each division, so we're just going to run through this. MPO, first place, Daniel Vasquez, followed by Mickey Welsh and Landon Knight, taking the top 3 spots. FPO, we got Madeline Payton, Mia Lofton, and Kathy Kuhn, taking the top 3 in their division. MP40 is going to be Robert May, Alex Aguilar, and Alan Morrison, taking his. MP50 and over was Eric Buford, Michael Haberman, and Zach Tate, taking theirs. They actually had a lot of people in the MP50 division play in the overall amount. Going to MA1, Keegan Hops taking first. And actually, he didn't even. I noticed, this is just real quick, he only played like 5 of the events. Like he placed really well in the events that he did play.
There's a couple ways you can place well in this, and I think that's what's cool. I mean, you could go to the bigger events and you could have a really high finish rate.
No, yeah, you can definitely. Couple ways to score. You either play very consistently and play all of the events, get the bonus points for playing all of the events, or just shoot really well at a few of the tournaments, and that worked for Keegan. So congrats, Keegan. Rounding that off is going to be Roderick, then Jackson McDonald, Nick Kuhn, and Darian Payton, which we were talking. I think Darian may have been in the top 5. I think this event may have put him into the top 5.
Yeah.
To make that payout.
Yes.
MA40 got William Wood, Oscar Jordan, and Chance Nelson. Going into MA50 is going to be Jeff Prime, Chris Bridges, Gary Collier. Then MA60, Kirk Cunningham, Jesse Gonzalez, and Brad Creech. MA2, we got Jordan Grimes, Jordan Grimes was one of the 3 players that played all 12 events and got that bonus $200 that we were talking about. So
yeah,
shout out to Jordan. The other one was Madeline Payton, who I skipped over. I forgot to mention that, and Rob Bohack. So, I mean, really good. So, got Jordan Grimes, Adolfo Hernandez, Marshall Gowers, Darian Payton ended up cashing in the tour standings for MA2 and MA1. So, shout out Darian.
Yeah.
And then we got Jack Kleppe, who ended up snagging 5th with his placing today. So, really good. Honestly, and now that I'm thinking about it, going over to MA3, we got Rob Bohack, who also played all of the events, and all 3 of the people that played all the events won their division. So, I mean, not only did they get the free $200, that's just a bonus to playing all the divisions, they ended up winning the first place prize for their tour the tour standing points. And so, continuing to MA3, after Rob Bohack, we got Zachariah Gillenwater, Chase Williams snagging that 3rd place.
3rd place.
Anthony Pipkin ended up taking 4th, and Jack Kleppe getting 5th. So Jack Kleppe ended up getting 5th in MA2 and MA3. So a couple people getting payouts in multiple divisions. I think Madeline Payton also took home 2nd in amateur women. Natalie Meyer got 3rd, and then Denise Gentry getting that 1st place in the AM women's side.
Absolutely.
There is a juniors here, but unfortunately, I don't think any of the juniors played any of the divisions. I think all of the juniors that are around here play MA3 or MA2.
They play MA3
Some
or
even
MA2.
play MA1, honestly.
Some play
So,
MA1.
Shout out to all the winners from that. I think a lot of them didn't stick around to get their trophy, so I'm sure you guys can get those from Steve. He'll have those up at the store for you guys. So moving on, 2025 Dirty Dozen Tour. Steve announced at the finale this weekend that he was going to be, instead, this past year, he and Chainbombers kind of had they coordinated together to work 6 and 6 of the Dirty Dozen events. Steve said going into 2025, he's going to be taking the events. So he's going to do all 12 of those, running all of them. He said the schedule should be posted here in the next week or 2. A couple of them already posted. So like we talked about Strata the Brazos Hideaway Open is going to be on there, which I think is the first time the Hideaway Open is on there, because last year it was not. So that's going to be a little interesting. I didn't see. We'll see when the full schedule comes out.
You're right. It wasn't.
Which event?
The Dallas Open was, right?
The Dallas Open was on there. So, and which could still be on there as well.
Was the Dallas Open at the Hideaway?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, pull that up. Going into some of the future events coming up. Honestly, got a couple cool ones this weekend. On November 23rd, we have the Space Race at Audubon. If you've never played a space race, they're really good. They're great for beginners. It's a glow round with a modified layout. You get 2 free discs that are typically limited edition, usually MVP or Axiom. I think this time you get a glow range, which is MVP's new approach disc. It's very similar to a Berg. And you get a glow, I think it's a total eclipse crave, so a fairway. And you play 2 rounds of 9 holes that are modified. Not really a ton of scorekeeping necessarily, but it's all, looking for aces. You get some points for like metal hits, chain hits, and of course an ace, and you kind of score based off of that. And super cool. You can literally show up with your card. Like you don't have to, you're not going to get put on a random card unless you go up solo, but you can go up with some friends, play all together, and get put on the same card. So we played one last year, right? Was it last year?
We played
one, and it was super fun. We got an Envy and a Paradox, and that was super fun.
Yeah.
And that was coming from us who at the time didn't really play any glow golf, and it was still fun. It was a good time. Other events that same day in the morning, there's going to be an unsanctioned doubles event. The 3rd annual Grateful Dubs tournament at the Hideaway is great. I know a lot of people have played that and liked it in the past. There's interestingly enough, there's a co-ed division. So a lot of like couples like that, a lot of like male and female teams. Going into Sunday, there's a flex at DL Jackson, which you didn't play DL Jackson with us, did you?
No, I didn't go to DL Jackson.
No, so DL Jackson, it's Lourdes Herrera and Darren Herrera's like their private course on their land. Super cool course. I think it's a 22-hole course, and they're going to be having the first flex ever there. It's going to be hosted by MX Disc Golf.
Yeah.
Shout out Raul, super cool guy. And honestly, like when we played it, it was great. There's a couple cool holes that are very scenic over like a pond. Super cool. Honestly, when we went and played, they were like, the hospitality was crazy. We were just some strangers going to play their course, a little tour of the course, and even cooked us food afterwards. After the round, like just cooked us lunch. We were like, no, y'all don't have to, and they insisted. So great people. Go to that, show up. It's first one. I want to say it's like 10 a.m. or I don't necessarily know the start times, but it's a flex start, so you can kind of go with your own card and kind of tee off when you'd like to. And then rounding off the future events is going to be Dynamic is hosting a flex start Friday on Black Friday at Greenbelt. Did Steve mention they were going to have any Black Friday sales?
I thought so. I think that during the players meeting when he brought up the Black Friday flex at Greenbelt, he also brought up that there would be Black Friday deals at the shop, which Greenbelt is 5 minutes from the shop. So.
Oh yeah, so we might as well play the event, swing by the store, check out, see if they have any sales, see if they have any cool used discs or anything. That's kind of my favorite thing, is just to go look through the used bins,
100%.
see if you can find like you never know what you'll find. Sometimes you can find I bought like that freaking Undertaker, dude.
That has the Huck Lab.
It's got a Huck Lab. I wish I had it with me right now. It's
drawn on.
It's got someone Sharpied the Huck Lab die on it, and I bought it honestly as a joke, just because I thought it was funny and it fit the theme of my bag. And it's like one of my go-to fairways now for like a turnover shot. Like didn't expect it, but yeah. So check them out. That's going to be the upcoming events for this weekend. In other news, I think the minis, we mentioned a few of these. I think this was one of the ones we mentioned last week, but the Shawnee Singles on Sunday has up to $1,000 ace pod. So that's kind of interesting. I'm surprised an ace pod even built up that high on that course. There's a couple.
No, I feel like you play it enough, someone should be acing it.
Oh, for sure. I think one of those holes is like 120 feet, but it's a little risky with the one with the double mando.
Yeah, well, and also at Shawnee, you have those 2 holes back to back that are almost sharing a tee pad.
The tee pad's like 10 foot away.
In fact, 2 separate times that I've been out there playing casually, someone has aced.
Oh, and I think I saw that. Yeah, last time we were there.
You were with me one of the 2
2
times.
Yeah, and got an ace. So, I mean, honestly, yeah. pull up to the Shawnee singles and see if you can.
What time do they do that on Sundays? Do you know?
2:30.
2:30.
2:30 in the afternoon. So it's actually a good time. 2:30. I think they have most of the information just in case like time changes and stuff. They post it on their Facebook. It's the Shawnee Disc Golf Club. Also, last time we were kind of confused last week on what we do on Thursdays, and one of the things that got brought up to me was there's another putt night.
Didn't they put it in the comments of the video?
Someone did mention it for sure.
Okay, go on and I will pull it up.
Okay, yeah.
So also putt night at the Sports Garden.
Yep, Sports Garden in Carrollton. We missed last week. I literally didn't even think about it until
I feel like we didn't
afterwards.
play at all last week until.
Yeah, honestly, didn't played. Yeah, we didn't really played Sunday and then kind of took the whole week off.
Yes, so someone commented and said Thursday's putt night at Oak Highland Brewery. It's 3 minutes from BB Owen.
So yeah, Oak Highland.
Oak Highland Brewery.
Nice. So yeah, go check that out. I saw the videos. It looks fun. They put up like some baskets between some kegs, like the little beer kegs and stuff that are there, and all kinds of cool, wacky obstacles and stuff. So it looks fun. But yeah, is there anything else we want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Yeah, if you guys have anything, if you have minis, if you have things that you want us to highlight, please just comment. We read the comments. We appreciate everyone posting. Just let us know if you have a mini, if you have some kind of club putt night, anything going on. Just let us know about it. We'd love to highlight it for you.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Drop a comment either below in the comments. Also, I think we talked about we might have some people send in some clips. So if you have like maybe some clips or like a nice a cool ace or a cool shot or just a funny moment that you had at one of the DFW disc golf courses that we have in the area, feel free to email that to us. We've got an email. It's DFWDiscGolfDigest @gmail.com. I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but I'll put it's
going to be in the bio.
It'll be in the description for sure. If you guys will send in some of your clips just to that email, we're going to try and probably highlight and put a couple of them in the next podcast episode.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, just like we play so many tournaments and we play with a lot of different people, and people always have different bag. What is your favorite disc golf bag?
Mine personally?
Yeah, like if you had to, like, your favorite, like, you look at other players, like they have this disc golf bag, you want this disc golf bag, what is it?
I mean, honestly, for me, I really like a lot of the squatch bags and the grip bags. The one that I really like, and I don't know if I would ever use it, but I like the way they look, is the American flag grip bags from Ledgestone, like the red, white, and blue ones. Those are sick. I don't know if I would ever want to own one just because maybe I'd have one and just kind of use it on occasion. Yeah. But it's noticeable for sure. What about you? What's your favorite?
Drop a comment below, guys. Let us know what your favorite bag is. Let us know why it's your favorite. My favorite Squatch. I've had two Squatch bags. I've had the Commander bag. I've had the Paratrooper. I have always wanted to try a pound bag.
Oh yeah, the like custom make them and whatnot.
I've wanted to try a pound bag, but Squatch just has me just kind of.
Yeah, I think for the price, like the Squatch bags are just everything you need. They're definitely more comfortable. Like I have a grip bag and Chase has a Squatch. Squatch I think is definitely a little bit more comfortable for sure. But yeah, so I mean, just thank you guys for watching, sharing the video, those of you that did, or sending it to a friend, or just like, posting comments. And like Chase said, let us know if there's something you want us to shout out. Like if you've had a mini, an upcoming tournament, or some kind of organization that you would like us to mention, definitely mention that in the comments or include it into the email we put up earlier, or both. But yeah, so appreciate you guys for watching, and tune in at the next episode.
Oh.